man, so we got Bitcoin down 1%, but FANTOM shockingly up 1%. And I think I have just found the untapped gem, which if FANTOM Foundation can figure this piece out, FANTOM will surely be at $10 per token if we can figure this out. We've got a lot to cover off on this video, guys. We've got commodity prices to look at. We've got a new senior hire made by the FANTOM Foundation at C level in the C-suite. We've got the Bitcoin dominance to look at. We've got some interesting movements in the market, and we've got the Ukraine-Russia tensions to look at as well. Make sure you're hitting that like button. Make sure you're subscribing. Please watch to the very end, as you will not want to miss any of this information. As always, this video is brought to you by NordVPN. Links in the description. Check them out for 70% off of a VPN. Make sure you're staying safe in crypto, guys. I would not recommend a product to you which I personally do not use. NordVPN is something I use on a daily basis. I log into every single exchange with my VPN checked in. It's on my phone as well, always logging in through a VPN. It's the minimum you can do in such a crazy place crypto can be. So check that out. Let's go straight into the charts now, guys, because as we can see here on Bitcoin, we've got a red day. I'm here on the hourly chart, and literally as we are speaking, guys, you can't write this stuff. Jerome Powell is speaking at an economic forum right now, and he is crashing the market. I was just watching the stream before making this video. He is talking about the possibility of 0.5% rate hikes coming in the future, and he's not, ruling them out, and that is making the market a little bit worried. That's his big red hourly candle here as Jerome Powell speaks. This is the first of his scheduled appearances to speak this week. He's actually speaking again on Wednesday at some banking conference as well. So naturally, we know somebody like Fed Chairman Jerome Powell can crash the markets while he's talking. Generally, it doesn't, unless he says something major, it just tends to shake itself back out again over the next couple of hours. So I wouldn't worry too much about that. But what is interesting today is Bitcoin is down 1%, and we can make sense of that, right? We can see that Putin's Russia looks increasingly desperate as Ukraine war nears stalemate. We hear that Russia gave an ultimatum to Ukraine to surrender one of the key cities of Mariupol by 5 a.m. this morning, but Ukraine has rejected that, and that is leading to more worries in the market. Commodity prices are spiking. A great day to be a commodities trader. You're up 5% on oil, Brent 6%, and gas up 4%. So it's a crazy day in the commodities market, and we know stocks prices move inverse to the commodity prices. And as we can see, Dow Jones down 1.17%. You've got the S&P down almost 1%, and the Nasdaq down 1.5%, giving up some of the gains we had last week. And obviously, we know crypto is correlated to the markets right now. If the markets are risk off, you will see a fall in Bitcoin, and that is what we're seeing today. It ties in with the rejection around the 42.5 level mark, which we spoke about. If you look at the patterns, let's head over to the 4-hourly chart to make it a little bit clearer. We spoke about this in the video yesterday. This was a key level for us, and we got rejected from it again. That's from this level here, and you can see we've got rejected from it again. So now we're really starting to create another triangle within our wedge, which could be suggesting we're more likely to break to the downside here and start working our way to 34 and 33. So that's something for us to watch out on here. The bull case for Bitcoin will be to get a bounce. It needs to get a bounce, either create this higher low now and turn now before this low here at about 40,000, or come all the way down and bounce at 40 before breaking 41,659, breaking 42.5 where we got rejected, retesting if need be, and working its way to the top of the wedge. That's the only bullish case. Bitcoin's got work to do to get to 44.5 and then go reach the target from this technical pattern to the upside. The worrying thing is if you break to the downside, as I said, then these levels start to come to play again of 32, 33 range at the bottom of the wedge. So make it very clear. These are the levels we're looking out for now. We're in a range. We're in a range right now in the middle where this is going to make its mind up to one side or the other. I don't have a crystal ball here. I can't tell you, but we need to be prepared either way. So if you're holding any coins which you do not want to hold, if we go this way, now's your time to fix it. If you're holding coins if you're not holding enough coins or not holding certain coins which you want to hold, if we go that way, then you want to position your portfolio as well. Hopefully that is clear. Now, interestingly, if Bitcoin was down 1%, we normally expect our altcoins to fall, but we've seen a really strong day here on FANTOM, which has been up higher than almost about 3% today intraday before Jerome Powell was speaking. It was high as 135, I believe, here intraday. We're now sitting at, sorry, let me just get that right. We were as high as, let's just go on the daily chart. Whoops, let's get ourselves zoomed in. The high of the day today was 130, And now you can see we're sitting at 126 as Jerome Powell started speaking. So let's head back into the hourly chart, because what I want to show you is this important trend we're seeing here. So you remember when we created our lows of 103, this is where I was nibbling in this range. You can then see we got a good bounce to the upside. We bounced from 116 level, great, got rejected from 126, came back towards 116, went to 126 again, rejected. Now we got through 126, right? We went as high as 134, 135, and then we fell all the way back down to 120. Now we got to bounce off the 120 trend line. We're going for a retest at 126. What we want to see now is a bounce from here, and we got to get past this pivot point here. This pivot point here at 135, we need to get above it, retest, and then work our way up. That's what we want to see here from a technical perspective on the FANTOM chart. Now, obviously, it's going to depend on the wider macroeconomy. It's going to depend on what Bitcoin is doing in its moment and how the wider market is feeling. But what we are seeing is an inverse relationship just today. I don't think this is a decoupling just yet, but just a flavor of what we potentially could see if, dare I say it, you start entering into an altcoin season. If I show you the Bitcoin dominance and just remove this EMA ribbon, it's less relevant here, you can see that we're starting to get this little bit of a curling over. Let's bring this into the center. There we go. We're getting this little bit of a curling over. You remember my video yesterday, I said we could start heading towards 39.65. And that's the point we bounced from 1, 2, 3, 4 times, dating all the way back to 22nd of May, 2021. This journey here on the way down would indicate an altcoin season as money starts to flow from Bitcoin into altcoins, which is very interesting because I still feel as though Bitcoin's got its move to go towards 50,000 before that money starts cycling massively into altcoins. But you are seeing it's a strong altcoin day. I've made a video earlier today on Algorand. If you haven't watched that, I'll link that up here. That was up almost 8.5% before Jerome Powell started speaking. It's now up 7.8% roughly. You've got Cardano moving powerfully today, up 4 or 5%. Avalanche 1.76% today. Luna up almost 5% today. It's been a strong day for layer 1 solutions in particular as a trend here today, moving to the upside despite Bitcoin showing a red candle. Right, so that's your Bitcoin dominance. If we head over to Fear and Greed Index, you can see that the Fear and Greed Index is showing 30. Now we're coming out of the extreme fear range. We're starting to head into a bit more of stability and normalization, which is good. There are less catalysts out there. There are less unknowns. The biggest unknown right now is Ukraine and Russia issue. If that escalates, that's going to continue to spook markets, definitely. Jerome Powell speaking here and there. We've actually got 10 Fed officials speaking this week on news. So you're going to get a lot of FUD out there. Some of the hawkish ones will come and say certain things. It's going to move the market intraday. That's fine. But long term, once we're through that, there's not many catalysts now leading up to the next FOMC meeting in May. So we should have some space to really start to get moving on the stock market and also therefore Bitcoin and our favorite altcoins. Right, let's also take a look at this. Because what I want to share with you was this tweet. Shout out to FANTOM Community Alert. Shout out to Austin over there. Surprisingly, I'm more satisfied and confident in my portfolio today than I was 5 months ago at all-time highs. My exposure is way better and the projects are much more mature. The coins will rise, that's certain. What we do now can be the difference between a 5x and a 20x. Absolutely. And the reason I want to share this with you, this echoes my sentiments. Like, FANTOM is a far better project today than it was at its all-time highs. I mean, I challenge anybody to tell me that going back to October of 2021 versus where we're at today, FANTOM was a better project here than where we are today. Impossible, right? Any metric you want to look at, TVL, projects, protocols, bridges, use case adoption, social metrics, the team, every single metric, they will be far better off here. Learning, I mean, this is huge. And there's still, as Michael Kong said in his interview, if you haven't watched that, I'll link that up as well. As Michael Kong said in his interview, FANTOM is a project which is a year behind all the other layer 1 solutions. Due to all of the difficulties they've had, the scams, the poor start they've had out of the blocks, he's always considered them as being a year behind. So this is a great time to be involved. And I think that tweet really reflects my sentiment as well. It's a way better project. And that is how we need to manage our psychology to invest right now. We need to remind ourselves the price should not dictate our mood. We don't need to trace green candles. We don't need green candles to tell us a crypto project, which has so many different moving parts, is a good project or not. Because if that was the case, there are so many meme coins up thousands of percent as we speak today. you and I know are useless for either because they're tokenomics, they're meme coins, they're pumps and dumps, they're rug pulls. We know, right? We don't need the green candles to tell us it's a good project or bad project. So that is an important aspect to think about. Right, next up, what have we got? FANTOM Foundation welcomes Professor Bernard Schultz to the FANTOM Foundation as Chief Research Officer. A good acquisition to the team, a professor who's going to really help with smart contract execution, security, and performance on the production environment. So it's just good to show that FANTOM Foundation continue to improve. They're not stagnant. They're looking at ways they can improve their team, and adding someone with that experience to their C-suite level will continue to help improve what they're trying to build out. Now, it'd be good to find out more about Bernard Schultz as and when we get more information on him, but the fact that they're looking to add to these positions is always a good sign. Right, let's head back into the charts, because one thing I do want to show you is if we zoom back into this bottom, and you guys will remember that I made a video saying my risky bet, where I decided to pick some more FANTOM at the lows. I tried to time it around the bottom. I probably got in around I bought some at 104, 105. I don't think I quite caught the 103. But if we were to take this move from the bottom to where we're at right now, we already have a 20, call it a 23%, very crudely here, a 23% pickup from the bottoms already on FANTOM. And this just goes to show you why it's so important to not try time these bottoms. If you're trying to time your entries into the market, it's very difficult. You've got to wait for pullbacks and you've got to accumulate. Wait for pullbacks and accumulate. Then when it runs, let it do its running. Don't chase the green candles. No green candle disease, because we load it up as much as we can based on our conviction. Really, really important. Let's also take a look at the Fibonacci levels. What I want to do is I want to just extend this here. And if we just take this from the bottom, let's bring out our Fibonacci. We take it from swing low to swing high. What we get is where is our golden pocket ratio? And our golden pocket ratio, which is the level we really need to bounce off of during Bitcoin's next run up, is the $2.48 level to the $2.56 level. So as Bitcoin's on its way to 50,000, 60,000, this is where we want FANTOM to start getting back into. It needs to get back into the 248 to 256 region in its golden pocket in here. Okay, that's where we need to get to. You can see we've got a resistance level at 246 naturally, so naturally we want to break above there, retest, and hold above that level. Those are the levels we're looking at, because we've severely come down now here, and you expect a normal Fibonacci retracement up to the golden pocket. That's what we're looking out for here. On the hourly, in the immediate future, what is it we're looking out for? Well, very simply, we're looking for higher lows and higher highs. Right, so you can see we've got a low, we've got a higher low, and then we fell. We still created a higher low, and then we fell, we created a lower low. So we broke this trend which we were creating, which was getting us up. But we haven't lost this low here yet, okay? So you can see with this white trend line I've drawn, as long as we manage to respect that trend line and bounce, we can continue, post a higher high above this level at 134, 135, and then we can keep our move going here on FANTOM. Ultimately, it's going to depend on Bitcoin, but it's still very interesting that we're getting a day of a little bit of decoupling. But as you can see, as Jerome Powell's speaking right now and crashing the market, you still can see as Bitcoin's falling whilst Jerome Powell's speaking, altcoins are falling in relation to that as well. So that bit is not decoupled. Altcoins are moving on any conversation around interest rates and increasing them too fast or being too hawkish. So there you go, guys, a jam-packed episode on what's going on with FANTOM. You didn't think that I missed out on the hidden gem, did you? No. For those of you who stayed, here is the hidden gem that can take FANTOM to $10, and that is NFTs. Yes, NFTs. Head over into DeFi Llama, click on NFTs, pick chains. Where is FANTOM on this list? Bottom on this list. If I move my fat face out of the way, you go up there. FANTOM is sitting at 13 million in total volume. Ethereum at the top, 20 billion in NFTs. Harmony, who doesn't even come into the conversation sometimes, right? In terms of good layer one blockchains. I hold some, by the way, full disclosure. 170 million in NFTs. Solana, which we know is one of the daddies of NFTs, 115 million. We are a 10x off here on FANTOM on NFTs. This is the opportunity I keep talking about. And the great thing is, if you go and watch the video that I'm going to link up at the end of this video in the end card, it's going to be to the interview from Michael Kong himself. And he acknowledges this weakness. He acknowledges finally, which is a great step, because if CEO is acknowledging it, it means he's going to be working on it. And just like he exploded DeFi and FANTOM, I have full faith that he'll be able to explode gaming, NFTs, and play to earn, right? And doing those things in Metaverse will really lift FANTOM as a 360 layer one solution. And his rhetoric around that, you're going to love it. Make sure you go watch that video. We break that down in detail because that's really important here. We can't just be seen as the DeFi chain here on FANTOM. We really need to pick up the trend around being a 360 layer one solution. You need your NFTs, you need your gaming, you need your metaverse. And if they can figure this piece out, which other blockchains to their credit are doing a better job than FANTOM. For example, even Cardano's got 2x the NFT collection at 27 million than FANTOM, but they're still nowhere near Immutable X, 100 million, Solana, 100 million plus, 170 million Harmony One, Ethereum, 20 billion. You can't compare to this, guys. And that is where the opportunity is to be had. If FANTOM can figure that out and get to the top 5 or 6, and they're still strong in DeFi, then you become a machine that cannot be messed with. Make sure you go watch the Michael Kong interview. Comment over there that you how you felt about the video, whether you thought it was useful. And don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe. NordVPN, links in the description. Make sure you support them. Get yourself set up on a VPN, guys. Absolute no-brainer. Get yourself set up. Make sure nobody is following your crypto footsteps. And I'll see you in the next one.